Welcome back. It's Relegation Week here at the ESL Studios in sunny Cologne, Germany. Matthew is my hype man over there in the corner.
Hype man?
Hype. Did I say hype?
I don't know.
He's your emotional fluffer.
Better than the physical.
Didn't you want to go with my introduction? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the ESL Pro League. We're delving into relegation tonight as we're going into the second match, Virtus.Pro versus Big.
Sounds a bit like a nature documentaries.
Two very distinct storylines here, Lord. We've got Big.
They're looking big. Do I sound like that?
I don't know. I think it's just the standard. Anyways, we do have Big, and we do have Virtus.Pro going head-to-head tonight. Two vastly different stories between these two teams. We'll start with Virtus.Pro, though. I mean, obviously, this is a well-known thing that we're going through with these guys is the up-and-down nature. That they're even in relegation is a story in and of itself. Yeah. As Chad drops his sunnies.
I apologize.
Yeah. No, it is a strange one, isn't it? You know, it was always kind of discussed after last season. It was like, oh, it'll never happen again. They'll pick it up. They'll be fine. And they're back in this sort of position, right? It's a little unique. But the problem, at least I guess the difference for me with Virtus.Pro is they have been beating some of the higher tier teams. But then against opponents they should be beating, they are fumbling pretty hard as well. There's been a couple of those 16-0s against them, and things that you think are almost impossible to happen, they seem to happen on quite a regular basis.
It's a weird one, for sure.
Is it even surprising anymore, Chad? Because, I mean, it is funny that we say it's surprising, but they have kind of been in this spot. You know, last season they had to fight their way back in. We just know they don't do good in online leagues very frequently. When does it stop becoming surprising?
Okay, so for me at the start of the season, they looked really good, right? They were putting up some good numbers, they were getting some good results, and then they kind of dipped in the middle of the season. Yep. That's where things kind of went wrong for them. And then towards the end, maybe not necessarily in the Pro League, but in the ECS, they've been picking it up and they've been looking much better as a unit. Now, in terms of them not performing as well online, I think these guys, they are the best, most experienced team in the world right now. They play the best brand of LAN, Counter-Strike, I think. Yep. You know, they show up at LAN more than anybody else. They're big game players. They're a big game team, and that's when they shine, right? Online, the playing field kind of gets leveled out. You can just be some 17-year-old new kid on the block. You don't feel any nerves playing in your bedroom, whereas if you take it to Virtus.Pro's cave, you go to their domain, you're definitely going to be sweating bullets. And I think online, sure, things haven't been going their way. You want young kids to go to Virtus.Pro's cave?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Metaphors are really good.
Better than paying the troll toll, Lauren. Better than paying the troll toll.
Gotcha. I'm not sure it is, but either way, I'm glad you mentioned that Virtus.Pro are big-time players because that one's too easy. It is big that we have, and this is, I mean, essentially, the funny part about this team is last season, they were just over, or 2 seasons ago, they were just over in NA playing under the NRG banner. It's Gabi, Lakia,
yeah, that's hilarious.
Tapson, yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't know why it's funny.
But either way, let's look at it this way. Tapson is coming off perhaps, I mean, yes, it's the lower tier players. It was from the Mountain Dew League, but one of the most dominant individual performance we've seen on any tier, really, of Counter-Strike being played. He almost carried Big to a Mountain Dew League championship.
Yeah, yes. And I don't think he's ever been associated with bringing that level of firepower. He's had up and down games, but it's been consistently just average, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's fine at doing what he does, but seeing that firepower means that this lineup might have a little more to it than we think. Because there's always that great mind with God B, right? Everyone always, you know, theorizes he is one of those good in-game leaders. He can pull these kind of players together. I know that Legia kind of plays as kind of almost right-hand man. He comes up with a lot of the theory crafting as well and kind of plays into it nicely. It's a good collective, but you just needed more firepower to actually come through there.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be kind of the story, because also, I mean, Nex is someone who was supposed to be a star that hasn't really panned out, but we've seen him kind of even under God Beat play a little bit better. We've got the map vetoes ready. We're going to throw them up on screen for you, so we'll kind of, you know, pick something that grabs your attention, Lauren and Chad.
Well, I was having a little bit of a chat to Legia before this game, and I asked him, you know, I actually don't know these guys too well. I don't know their map pool all that well, so I was, you know, asking what are your strengths here, and I see 3 of those maps now in the picks. Inferno and Train were the 2 that they went to, or he went to, as, you know, they're comfortable maps that they're happy on. They feel they've got a good map pool overall, but I think every team will just say that by default. But Cobble, he said they're trying out a new approach, so that one's, I guess, a little bit of a 50-50. They're trying out new positions, so they've changed a lot of things up. But we did see a lot of these maps as well played out during the Penta game where they actually lost. So again, it's all good and well in theory to say, yeah, we feel good on these maps, but you could still just get overrun by VP here?
We just saw Penta get dumpstered as well by Hellraisers, right? So
Yeah.
that could speak volumes as to what's about to happen to Big, unless they've been able to do a lot of preparation, which I guess is easier to do for a team like VP, who they've got a lot of demos, they've got a lot of matches that you can watch. Inferno is that one that is newer into the pool, obviously recently released, but that could be good because it could have been Big's best map, putting a lot of time into that. They could be really super prepared, and if VP haven't done their homework, they might have a rough time there. I can't really see Cobblestone going against VP because I know it seems like they're up and down, but if it's not a confident map for Big, that's when VP runs over you, right? They're just one of those teams that if they can kind of smell the weakness, sniff it out, and chase it down. They're polar bears after all.
Any more metaphors you want to come up with? I'm waiting for some more. They were so good earlier.
I'm a big fan of that analysis.
But don't you still see the worry, though, that if you're VP, do you take Big as a threat they should be? Because
for sure.
We say this. How many times during the online season, like, oh, VP have to, really buckle down now. They finally have to, take this seriously, and then they go and lose like 16-0
Yeah, but
people.
Lauren, this game matters.
I have to break it. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I'm going to put my analyst cap on just for I want to go back to that world. That's a fun lifestyle.
Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Inferno. I mean, this is going to be interesting because we just saw Big lose this map in the Mountain Dew League Finals to Penta. So I mean, that's not exactly a feather in their cap there. VP on the other hand, I forget what event was that? They beat SK on it as well. In a BO1. I think that was maybe a Katowice. I think that was to get out of groups. And then Cobble is a map that up and down nature of Virtus.Pro, it's a map that's remained relatively constant for them. And then Train, you go to a map like Train and play Virtus.Pro on. If it makes it to a third map as the decider, VP's got to be very, very happy with how this kind of turned out for them, because they've always been dangerous on Train. Yeah,
something that is slightly off topic, but still could apply here is VP, when they kind of get in doubt, I suppose, they like to change roles and players and positions around. Yep. Is it too early, with the major lingering and other big events coming up, for them to be doing that and showing that? Like, do you think if you were VP...
And you're making a change for the major, do you show it now?
Yeah.
Is it big, are you saying is it a big enough stage to kind of bust that out on?
Because you want to be in, let's be honest, Pro League is the Premier League right now online. Yeah. To be in the league is fantastic for a lot of different reasons that it would take me a very long time to go into. So this is an important match to give them a chance to get back into the league, right? So I think it's worth taking the risk and maybe showing your hand a little bit. Maybe start with your original style, see if it's working. If not, transition to the mix-up.
Yeah, certainly that could be, especially because they've done it so many times. They probably have some things they fall back on and just remember. The other thing that's important to talk about right now, Virtus.Pro, one of their big strengths is the fact that they're just that team that snowballs, right? If they start beating you, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse until the match is over. Big at the Mountain Dew League Finals, even against teams like Godsend, even against teams like Penta, had one of their big strengths that they had in that tournament were their ability to come back from like 6-7 round deficits. I don't think they have it in them to come back against Virtus.Pro, even in online Virtus.Pro, if they get down that much, to be able to come back. I don't think they can rely on that in relegation matches.
Yeah, and I want to see if, speaking to every single player whenever I discuss VP and how they mentally come into the game, is they still see them as, the king of fakes, right? They find it incredibly hard to read them. So I think it's going to be quite a fun mental game between VP and, I guess, God B, who's, known for being quite a cerebral player and how he likes to kind of approach the game, and he likes to try and throw teams through loops. I want to see how that kind of unfolds. I think Cobble will be a very interesting one, because even back then when Big were, it wasn't even Big, but it was, God B still being relevant to Tier 1 at that point, he was so happy playing on Cobble. He was one of the teams that, forced the rotate so desperately, split through towards A very, very early on and just made it such hard work. So, I think VP are now the kings of doing it in Tier 1 still. I think a lot of teams will look at them as the ones that they find it hardest to play against. Even though they may beat them on a consistent basis, they know that VP love to do that. So it'd be quite interesting to see that little back and forth between them.
One more thing.
Yeah. We have plenty of time, so you can do two more things.
I can do even 3 more things.
Holy hell.
I think it's really important, if you haven't been following the socials, I'm quite on top of the socials.
I followed a little bit of the socials.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro are boot camping right now.
Yes, with Navi, I believe it is.
Yes, but you know what that means, Jason?
What's that mean?
They're all in a row. They're all together. The vibe is there,
big.
right?
Ooh.
They're in the house in Berlin.
Yeah, but let me finish my point here, Lauren. Let's build on
this.
Don't bash it down before it's built.
No, it's there.
For VP, the vibe of all being together in the same room might make it that much more serious. You know what I mean?
Like man.
Yeah, so they get that little not cheat, but it just helps them with the vibe. You're doing the fist bumps. Everybody's feeling real good. Thanks, Lauren. And it kind of helps the mood and helps you approach the game. And so we know these guys have families and stuff, right? We know there's probably a lot of factors going in the background. They probably have their little office where they play their games and the door's closed, but life's just outside that door. Right now, it's serious mode. We're at a boot camp. Let's win this game. We really need to take it. It's going to be very important for them, and I feel that we're going to see a better VP tonight.
Can you actually sum this up and just say, everything that we say is predicated on if VP shows up. Can you actually just do that to this match?
Every single time we cast VP. You know what I mean? Is this not the consistent storyline, whether it be offline or online? You just flip it and just go, oh, it's an offline environment. Finally, we'll see that real VP coming through. It's online. It's like, oh, it's online. Who knows what VP we're going to get? It's all good and well to theory craft every single thing that could be so factually correct. It's still online, and it is still VP, and it's, you know, they are their biggest enemies. Every single occasion, it always feels like they are the ones that can let this one slip. By all accounts, this should be probably the easier out of the two games. If you looked at it on paper, in theory, I think if you want to throw it through that sort of strainer, I guess VP, who've, you know, been champions on every single stage out there in the world, should be able to get past Big, who've been, you know, on a bit of a rise, but they came second to Penta over in the
they
UK
won the
not long ago.
Meisterschaft, Lauren.
Das Meisterschaft. It's very good.
Ich bin ein Mann.
Your German is so good.
Dankeschön.
Ooh, he's getting there. I can only swear.
I quite like that. Like what? What have you got?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I've got nothing.
Scheiße.
Perfect.
There it is.
Doesn't feel like a swear word because it's a different language. So hashtag deal with it.
Dollar in the swear jar.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or euro. What else we got? We're still waiting on 4 players to join the server. Chat. I know you have something behind you. Yeah,
I have snacks. So
He's
I
got
think
snacks behind him.
Exactly.
Oh, I wouldn't mind some Scooby snacks. Were they for animals only, do you think? Because, what's his name? Shaggy. He loved them.
Do you reckon it affected Shaggy?
Probably. Yeah. The guy was eating eucalyptus leaves all the time, I think.
Was.
Snacks is the one who we always look to as the highlight player for VP, right? We know that every single player on VP can chime in and they can do fantastically well. They can have a carry performance. They're all capable of it. They're all experienced at that level. But Snacks is the one who's normally that shining light. We look up, we go, he's still performing well. Maybe Neo's chiming in, Taz is chiming in. He's consistent. He hasn't been consistent.
You just made Snacks like a Jesus figure.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at that very bright light.
If someone could like draw that out, like whoever does all those drawings, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, he is a bit like a Jesus figure in Counter-Strike.
Is he?
Yeah, I think at the start of this year, you probably would have said he's up there in a top 3, maybe top 5 player, right? The way that they started the year.
He's quite a big guy. That'd have to be a strong cross. Dark?
Why is he getting
A little
out to the
dark?
cross?
Well, Jesus.
Let's not go. let's avoid this one altogether.
Religion,
Sidestep it.
swearing, just
Move along, Chad.
just keep going.
Maybe he could be the, like, what is it, aliens in Scientology?
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, like Zulu or something like that, I think it is.
L. Ron Hubbard?
L. Ron Hubbard. Great storyteller.
Wasn't he? He used to write, like, movies and, like, books and stuff, right? Didn't he?
That's the best
That's what
part.
Scientology is.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Do you reckon you could be part of the
Can we
CEO?
please go to Counter-Strike? you win this game of chicken.
I know quite a bit about Scientology. Where do you want to go with this?
I don't know. I want to go back to Counter-Strike,
Jesus.
please.
Yeah, okay, so
Scared.
Snacks
Lead me
is the
back
one
home.
who's kind of felt like he's dipped off in performance because normally we're used to seeing him be so awesome at the game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because, you know, when you're losing games quite convincingly, it's very difficult still to be fragging proficiently. I think that is probably the correlation there. I've just answered my own point. Thanks for playing. Lauren, back to you in the studio.
I was really hoping to go with Jason on that one. I knew it was coming as the little closeout there, but thank you for a lovely, well-rounded
What
point
about
there. That was
Pasha?
lovely.
Pasha has had an incredible resurgence in the tournaments that they were very good at the beginning of this year. He spent about 3-4 months in the limelight of being like, holy crap, Pasha's back.
I have a dumb statement about this.
Oh, here we go.
Great. I love dumb statements.
I think with Pasha, it's like his decision making is so linear, right? Like it's if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because he's not playing percentages. It's just if he makes a decision to push and the timing works out, he's going to get a multi-frag. If he makes a decision to push and they're waiting for him, he's going to die without doing any damage. It's just one of those things that when he's on, the game allows him to get away with things that he probably shouldn't. In terms of, like, you see the way he plays B platform, right? He will go up there and he will lose a fight. The next round, he will probably take that situation the same way. But it might pay off for him the following round.
Yeah,
maybe I need to elaborate a little bit more.
I don't
know
use
what you
that
mean,
specific
but-
example, but I know whenever I watch him play, he is that kind of player who's just like, please don't make. It's like watching a horror movie, right? You're like, don't turn the corner, don't go around the corner, don't go around the corner, and then he just gets a double kill.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense. Like someone's holding the angle and they just happen to like miss shots, and then he gets a double kill. So he does strike me as that kind of player who's like holds the move key and then just kills things if they're on a screen or tries to.
That's always a good way to play Counter-Strike.
But then again, it's also not consistent in any way, shape, or form, is it?
But that's the thing, right? Because every player in this team can be a huge fragger, right? So if he's not having a great game, maybe Bialy's just having one of those games where it feels like he's hitting every shot.
Let's
When was the
transition.
last time we actually, sorry, if you don't mind, when was the last time we saw that many of them having the big game. I think we had snacks with the AWP like one moment online recently.
Maybe on LAN at Vegas, which was February.
Valentine's Day, actually, is when Vegas was.
Great.
Cool, thanks, Jason.
Just letting you guys
Nice
know.
one.
Part of that corporate beast that is the United States. Peddling holidays on us that are a waste of
Peddling
everyone's money.
love as a business. Yes, we've heard it all, Chad. What about, let's go back to Big, because
Yes,
we've talked a
let's
lot
go
about
back to
VP. Kiev. What do you guys make of Kiev as a guy?
So I
as
was
a player?
actually at their breakout event, which was DreamHack Leipzig, right? And I was relatively impressed with the approach of the team because they'd only been together for a very small period of time, especially after coming back from North America. He was kind of new to this level, obviously. The DreamHack Opens have kind of turned into that circuit, I guess, for these teams to impress.
Yeah.
And they did to some extent, but I felt like their trajectory was going to be much higher, much quicker. If they make it into the Pro League, fantastic, they're definitely on course. If they're unable to do that, then I'm not going to look at a player like Kiev and say it was his fault, but he seems like a sporadic AWPer. He doesn't seem like one that is consistent, like holding a line, making a frag, moving back. I remember him being very good in pressure situations and hitting like combat AWPer shots, like flick shots and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, in terms of the impact in the game, how big it will be.
Christ.
You're gonna do. I told you we're gonna do that a lot. Alex and I were having nightmares.
No, I don't know. I don't think that it's not that I don't rate Kiev. It's that even against other German teams at the time, you know, as said, Meisterschaft, used to see these players every single week. He wasn't that hugely standout AWPer. He's fine. I think that's the only way I can put it. So I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know if he can put up the numbers against possibly. Well, I think we saw Neo starting to AWP as well for some reason. Because occasionally he just
that's one of
feels
the role
like it.
switches. That's one of the role switches they do.
I don't know if he can go toe-to-toe with any of the other AWPers out there at the moment. I think he can find room to operate, definitely, but on a consistent basis, even though VP are drastically inconsistent, even individually as AWPers, I don't know if he's going to be the one to be able to kind of even the odds. And I don't think that God B or Big can play around him like maybe you can in other teams. I think they have a very different approach to CS.
Chad, this will be an interesting question for you. We're still waiting on just one player to join the server. And this is going to be fun, I think, because I know you I'll just get to it.
Thank you.
Big, is there any kind of liability in the sense that they have Gabi, one of the in-game leaders who is more tactical, sometimes a little bit more of a liability in the fragging department, Legia, who's not always the biggest fragger. I mean, they have players on this team that just haven't, really shown that they are consistently individually skilled enough to compete at the professional level.
Legia is up and down. Sometimes you have that good performance, but I know what you're saying. The God B one, I think he, especially when I was watching him in early days of this team, he was kind of having a different approach. It wasn't like the in-game leader who stays alive to the middle of the round and then tries to play the clutch or whatever. It seemed like he was more proactive. To be completely honest, I haven't watched a lot of them recently, so I'm not sure if he's still being more proactive, more, not an entry fragger, but maybe that second
Just
guy
like
in.
early action.
Yeah, to kind of get that information. So I don't know how he's applying himself now. But in terms of, we are seeing that. Pronax, he was at a LAN where, Pronax has won a major. And I was watching some of Godsend's games at the Mountain Dew League, and it was like, I guess, heartbreaking to see. Like, he still was unable to frag. I don't know what's happened with him. I know he was having hand and wrist issues. I'm going a little bit off topic here. But yeah, these in-game leaders like myself who can't frag, they are a liability, right? And at that point, it's like, how long can you put, like, if you feel that you can play better, and you think that you can honestly get there, then sure, you should keep playing and you should keep dedicating it that. But if you don't think that you can help the team anymore at that point, I think you need to do the honourable thing and fall on your sword and
transition to the coaching role.
Maybe just
not
for someone else.
Yeah. Interesting. Still waiting on one player.
Well, that's okay. We can grab some more points. I've always got points. Let's just grab one from here and here.
I would say as well, though, that if you lost out on someone like God B, I think you would lose out on Legia as well. They come as the package
they're
duo.
a package deal, aren't they?
That's right. That is kind of what they set up to Energy as well.
And I'm pretty sure they're happy to stay like that. I think God B allows a lot of room for Legia to do a lot of the kind of in-game stuff as well. Not necessarily in-game leading, but he has a lot of weight towards what he says. And whether or not that impacts him as well is an X marker. If he maybe overtakes a little bit, oversteps his role, that can maybe hinder his firepower. But this is all just kind of making assumptions of almost nothing here. But the point is that I'll be interested to see how much changes now, because they have got themselves over in the house in Berlin. I think that was a very, very recent change, maybe only just after this event just last weekend, or maybe just before that, but it is literally within the last couple of weeks. So it'd be interesting to see how much they're changing up, because it looks like they are changing some of their maps and how they literally approach it from not necessarily ground zero, but they are really kind of hashing everything through. I think Cobble is going to be the main one on that, which could either be really good for them or really bad. I think that's a really good telltale sign, kind of litmus test. So again, I think there's a lot to be seen, and if they can improve on where they are now, they're in the right environment to do so. I think this works for them.
I think Gob is also like the owner of the organization, right? I'm pretty sure Big is his thing.
I don't know.
I'm not. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think you're on the right track. I don't know if it's like Gobs or if it's like one of like the player owned where everyone gets a little bit.
Be
okay.
I think
it might be that could be part of the shenanigans. But I think the biggest one for our online match specifically, and this isn't saying. Well, actually, it is. Next.
That's
he is fantastic when he's comfortable, right? Lauren saying they're in this environment, maybe he's not going to be as comfortable as he would be at home, right?
Yep.
This guy, if we maybe roll back the years, what, a year and a half ago now?
A year and a half, 2 years.
He was meant to be the savior of German Counter-Strike. This guy was meant to be a big deal, and he was having star performances. He was getting very good with the AK, very good with the Deagle, reminiscent of like Nico in the way that he was able to hit a lot of those shots. Not as an all-rounder who can AWP and stuff, but he was just a very good impact style player. And then when it got to the LAN events, he once again, as I said before, made a mess of his bed. And
still gets a laugh.
Classic gags. Yeah, it's just like it doesn't seem like his online performances can transition to LAN, and for whatever factor that is, some people maybe they're just nervous playing in front of crowds. Like there's lots of things that go on with people that we're never going to know about, right?
Yeah.
But on paper, we can only go by statistics, we can only go by performances, and it doesn't correlate onto LAN. So if he's not, surely he must be comfortable in a house with his teammates. So. He's going to be a big factor in this match because Tabson isn't going to be able to carry as hard versus Virtus.Pro as he did against. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I've got really good news. We're not waiting for anyone. We're going to get live into it. It's going to be big. They're going to be taking on Virtus.Pro. This is for a spot in the ESL Pro League as Virtus.Pro fights to retain their spot. Nailed it. We're going to send it over to Henry G and Sadekist.
Thank you so much, Jason. Yes, my good mates, Virtus.Pro. Look, do or die time. Time to get back into the Pro League. Time to keep themselves here. Big is a team that's been up and coming, and this is a...
Here we go.
They were right. It is hard. A big chance for them.
Big and hard. That's what I'd like to see.
Okay, then.
But over at Mountain Dew, it has to be one player that has to be said, stood out for them crazy. Tabson. Like, what a performance that was. But Jason and Chad are absolutely right. The fact is, he won't be able to go that big. You're doing it again. He won't be able to go that massive against a team like Virtus.Pro.
For promotional sake, they got lots of
He won't be able to have that sort of performance against a team like Virtus.Pro. I don't think they'll allow him to have that sort of control of the situations to even find multiple frags each round. If he can, great. We actually saw him, if you remember, back in Croatia. He worked for NRG, and he had similar performances there. Do you remember that?
And then he ended up joining NRG. He actually ended up crossing the water and heading over there. This is essentially the remnants of the NRG team. And a long time ago, late 2014, Mouse Sports.
Sure. Well, hopefully they can cause some damage here. Like we said, we always say, Virtus.Pro online, you never really know what you're going to get, but it's going to be a boot camp from them. So hopefully they can get it together here and not get eliminated almost for a second time here in the Pro League. So it's going to be Inferno, from what I can gather. Virtus.Pro starts on the CT side. I think this is where a Penta, big pick. We've got the scoreboards wrong on my screen. We're getting ready to get into it. Yes, it's going to be a Virtus.Pro start on the CT side here. Certainly the heavy favourites. You have to say that, considering the dynasty of the team. But we'll see what happens here as we get into what looks like the beginning of the game. They're running around nice right now. Okay, so that's what confused me.
Yeah, the in-game overlay has our, in-game overlay has our last teams on it, Penta and Hellraisers. This is not Penta and Hellraisers.
It's the same server. I got told that is. That's probably the issue. I'll do a quick update, and we'll be into it. Inferno, Matt, I guess in terms of predictions, it's difficult to say anything other but Virtus.Pro here, right? It'd be an upset.
Again, prefaced as always online. If they show up, we don't know what they expect. Now, I know they're at a boot camp right now with Navi for a G2A event, so
a big then.
So are they at the same one?
No, they're at a team house in Berlin.
Yeah, they're in a team house. Yeah, of course. But okay, I did hear them say that on the desk. Sorry, little momentary lapse of judgment. It's not big that I'm worried about showing up. It's Virtus.Pro. My point is though, if they are at a boot camp and they've been working all day, maybe they're keen and on it.
Well, we'll see whether Snacks and Co can get it together here. We're into the pistol. It's big on the T side. They've got 2 smokes, flashbangs, and I think the tactics have to be a huge part of this game. The execution's going to have to be on point for Big overall. We'll see what happens here as we get into it. Pasha looking to do a little bit aggressive here. The USP facing down towards the T steps, but it's going to be banana control coming in. Snacks will be flashed in momentarily. God B surely going to be getting the flashbang in the face. He decides to fall back. He can sense the danger, and they do take a bit of damage to start around and keep down to 50 HP. Similar story for Nex as well, but Nex, he finds that first frag, taking down Taz.
Yeah, gonna wait toward the bags. Try and peek back out. Pasha, shots going out toward Tabson. Can't land it. Tabson's gonna win the duel. You look a little miffed, Henry.
Yeah, the aim was very poor then. Pasha, simple shot for him usually.
Next, meanwhile, gets Snacks down. It's gonna be Neo to rotate around. 6 HP.
Well, this is an open shot case. Neo just trying to get some consolation frags here, but potentially can't even do that. Yeah, Virtus.Pro, not a great start. I have to say, he probably doesn't win the round if he gets a shot of boiler, but that just looked like, it was not a world-class player, man, you're looking at, right? They're missing those kind of shots, that's not good enough, I'm afraid. 1-0 for Big. The underdogs here on the T side. Still a CD-sided map overall. That's a great start for them. We'll see where the force buy comes in. Obviously a hot topic of conversation right now in CSGO. Do you force up in the second round? It looks like the answer is yes for Virtus.Pro at least. They might be going for a double up setup going forward. I can see 2 players get their money about $1,000. So Neo, though, with Scout, trying to get a tag off, actually nails it as well. Takes down Keith to 39 HP. He's the Mac 10 player, not a huge deal really. You know, is throwing him in to investigate a bomb site with that lesser SMG, and it's Tabson to strike first. Finds the UMP kill towards Neo, who was the Scout player, but is recovered by Pasha, who has had armor as well. So he's a bit of a tank right now. We'll see whether he can step up. At one point was the main sniper. I guess he kind of is at this point. It's difficult to tell VP. They change it up every few months. He might have changed it now, considering things have gone so badly recently. It's been a while since we've casted them, at least.
Has been a long time since we've casted them. Pasha's going to sit back with the Scout and try and watch over toward the apartment doors. Door, I should say. Singular, not plural. There's only one that goes in that way, Henry.
Indeed.
This one's kind of like a extra wide door. It's not really wide enough for a double, I don't think. Then that's the door, the single door. Lagia wants out of it. He's going to have a bit of trouble doing it if Pasha hits him with a tag, but he's actually relocated himself, so flashes into where the pit should be decent jumping. Good use of a UMP.
Yeah, that was actually quite impressive.
Slowed down to not shoot his teammate either, which I thought he was just going to blast into him. But either way, it's going to be Keith covering off in front of Library. Taz, the last alive. Deagle, no armor. And round done again.
Quite clinical stuff there from Big. Good flashbangs. We said the executions really had to be on point to just eradicate risk against a team like Virtus.Pro. It can be very difficult to handle, especially in these force buy situations as well. Deagle for Taz. He's in the 5 versus 1. Just trying to get any frags he can upgrade to maybe an AK if possible. There's only one available. That's in the hands of Nex. A player I'm looking out for. Do you remember when we first started PGL?
Do I?
Nex was like kind of just coming into the scene, playing for Mouse Sports, and actually looking really good. Like we was like, wow, this guy's like nuts.
This season or last?
The first of the season we did.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So
yeah, so season 4. Let's be specific here.
And he doing like this Dust 2 player was like, this guy is nuts. And I agree with what they're saying on the desk. Like you thought he was going to be the savior of German CS overall. Like he was so talented, and then over a period of a few months, he just dropped off significantly into the abyss.
I think that's partly to do with internal problems that were existing in most sports at the time. I think it was very hard to play under Nico in that team, and I don't necessarily blame Nico directly for that. I think he felt pressured into having to carry them based on his skill sets, but as we know, like Dennis has kind of come back to light without him, and I think it's just structured, perhaps.
We'll see. This should be quite a clean round for Big. Full eco pretty much for Virtus.Pro. They have a Deagle and a 5-7. That's about it. Default pistols all around apart from that. And in terms of the situation, I can see them moving towards a B stack here. You can see the minimap right now. 3 players heading in towards the B bomb site. That could be interesting, but with no nades to play with here and no armor, it's difficult to imagine they really find anything more than maybe a kill. Back towards A though, so. Totally
thought you were going to go with back to you in the studio.
No, can't overuse that. I like it so much, I don't want to kill it before it's really...
Yeah, that happens with just about everything.
Yeah, we find things that are funny.
Killing joke fans be like.
We use it for about a week of every sentence, and it just drops off.
Yeah, we're not that clever in the world. Using jokes and creativity and all that jazz.
Yeah, we pretty much killed every joke at that 2v2 tournament. Every joke we got on our repertoire right now, just dead.
Yep, dead now, of course. Gobby's going to wrap into the site. Check the corners. Cover it off. Another straightforward round. Deagle still up for Taz. 5-7. In the hand of Snacks, they'll probably just sit back and let this one go, not giving away any frag distribution to the SMGs as well.
Yeah, so it's viable, I guess, for the SMGs to go hunting at least to get $600 per frag, and they're going to do that so far. Tabson and Keith picked up the early. Snacks and Taz, plenty of money farmed there. And this is going to be an interesting bonus round for sure here. T-side, you're going with 4 SMGs, just 1 AK, you're going for a straight-up rush here. You want to get maybe some apartment control with some basic flashbangs, stick together, trying to go to 5 unit trade frags, or you're just straight-up rushing B, something like that. You know this CT's going to be weak. They force forward in that second round. They probably don't have an AWP, they probably don't have incendiaries, and they might be lacking HE grenades. You can see it on the screen right now. There's not a single HE grenade. That means Banana, very viable at this point. You want it to stick together and just try and overwhelm the CTs. You might not even have head armor. They actually opted for that instead of the utility. Molotov to negate Neo there. That's actually worked quite nicely, and it's not exactly what I expected, considering the buy. I really did think they'd group up and try and overwhelm a very fast round, something that's not going to be expected. But they're going in for a default right now. It's difficult to work picks here. So maybe get some banana control, go for that full execution. See, they've got all the smokes and Molotovs to work with here on the T side. CTs, no kits as well, Matt. This is a really difficult round. This is why we have that discussion at the moment. Is it really worth it? Why is CSGO got into the state where you're forced by every second round? In 1.6 and Source, we never did this. It was always just deagles and no armor on the second round. We never, ever went all in on the second round. And you can see why it hurts you in CSGO in these particular ones. Especially when you're the team is like favored to win, right? You want to be just making sure you're winning with full utility and having everything available to you. It looks like that B execute's coming in. They've got actual full banana control without having to expend too much at all here. This will be smoke, CT spawn, coffins, Molotov new boxes, oranges, and just try and overwhelm, stick together, trade frags, and here we go.
Go down.
Nice.
Flashes out. Taz limited behind new box. Looks nice indeed. In fact, they go immediately through to CT. Taz is going to be annoyed by this because he's not sure where they're going. And he is anticipating that Keeve's going to jump up. He's heard him, surely. But he gets over top of him as he looks away. Keeve takes the site and it leaves us at a 3 versus 3. Late rotations from Virtus.Pro and Bialy locked off by the smoke as well. No kits for either or any of the players remaining on Virtus.Pro. Gotta be spotting them. We'll rotate back around, Molotov off. This could be done already. One flash, and you have to go for CT spawn as well, all of you, or wait for this. Henry, I know how to cast 2v2 retakes. I'm not sure about 3v3.
Give it a go.
I'll try. Well, Bialy's gone. Okay, well, I don't need to cast much, do I? Like, yeah, Gobby, just close it immediately.
Yeah, that's a scary round for all Virtus.Pro. Didn't have the utility to hold them off. And
pretty smart foresight by them.
That was a 5-on-3 as well. They were the first 2 kills. Snacks boosted up, big going for that CT spawn push. That's a bit of an old school tactic, actually. You smoke in front of the bomb site itself, just take vision away. That's a very common position there for one CT player at least. You're trying to isolate the person in CT spawn. You might be boosted up like Snacks was. He got 2 kills, but quickly traded back. They focus on the bomb site at that point. They have one player set up in CT spawn. They come back, find that kill at oranges, like he said. If he gets that kill, maybe that's the round saved, but unfortunately not. This is a CT side that's going to 5-0 before we've even kicked things off, really. And we'll see whether these upgraded pistols, not really much else, can work out for VP. They'll have maximum loss when this next round, so the orbs can come out. I'm sure we'll see Snacks or Pasha on his weapons. Normally Pasha, considering he plays the arch position. But Snacks can be good towards B as well. He likes to play aggressively at the car. That's what he was famed for in the previous iteration of the map.
That's actually very, very true.
Yeah.
You don't tell a lie, Hank.
I try not to.
Taps and takes down Neo. Bialy sits with the Deagle in sight. The Rusty Flame, as I like to refer to it as. This is the Red Flame. That's the other one. We're going to make up names for all the new skins, Henry. So Keeve takes 2. Pasha as well on the pistols. He swaps it over. It's only Taz remaining. Late to leave the B site.
Wow, this is looking pretty rough. I don't think anyone's really fragged for Virtus.Pro. Okay, we've had 3 frags on the CT side after 5 rounds.
Yeah, I just realized that. Holy
moly.
What is going on, VP?
Well, still early days. First real gun round here. That might sound a strange thing to say. It's the first time they've had diffuse kits, an AWP, and the grenades to work with here. That's the problem with our force by in the second round. But big. Lagia is going to have the UMP. 4 rifles around him. Pasha, like we said, AWPing towards the arch position. He's not going fully committed towards T-steps, just looking towards underpass and might explore the idea of looking in second middle as well. For now, a default round from Big. They've got full control of the situation. This is looking very good for them. Plenty of money to work with here. They're all in 5 digits by the looks of things, and that means you can play with like some executions and things out of the strap book that might be a big avant-garde. We'll see what they bring to the table here. 3 in apartments is looking to be a fast round. Here we go, the execution.
Neo walking in from pit will take down Tabson, finally getting something rolling. They'll go up With 3 kills in this round, it's more than they've had in the entire game till this point, but it still may not be enough. Pasha certainly thinks it might be.
Well,
as he takes down Gabi, it's next that's going to try and pull us back.
I haven't cast him in a very long time. I'm interested to see his current form.
Do it, Henry. Cast him.
Okay, next. Coming from the core position. A minute to work with here. Doesn't have to bomb, but Pasha watching him like a hawk. That's a missed shot and a dink coming in as well. And good work from Pasha. Finally around on the board there. The crowd has erupted here in the esports arena, and it's going to be Pasha with 3 kills in the round. As we go to number 7, though. This is the dangerous point. Only 2 players surviving for VP. Reset potential is ever looming. That is going to be an interesting one going forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a factor. And they don't have a good buy, obviously, coming down to a 2 versus 2. 2 UMPs, Neo and Snax. Snax can get away with it. He's clever enough. Neo's got the skill, but Snax is clever enough to use it.
This is where you can crush VP right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
CT
absolutely side reset on Inferno is one of the most worst resets.
That's double
one of the most worst. Yeah. One of the harshest resets.
Yeah, you got that.
I wrote a nice apology. Apparently can't speak English when I speak it, though.
Yeah, I liked your apology. It's quite nice.
Thanks. Was it eloquent enough for you?
Yes, I could tell you were probably quite satisfied with your product at the end.
Verbosity.
Yes. Well,
my product. The sales pitch.
Yeah. For now, like we said, this is one of the biggest rounds potentially in this series. This is first map, too big on Virtus.Pro's. I think this must have been big spec because they're on the CT side. But yeah, this could be one of the biggest rounds in the entire series. 5-1 down, just picked up 1 round. You have a difficult one here with UMPs and limited buy, utilities low, double eco. Potentially in the next round. We'll see what happens in the 1 minute mark comes in. This could be another big execution. We have 3 players towards this side of the map. And with, I think we have 2 players in the apartments. Yeah, Taps and a Legia. Just throwing things right down now. This could be a fake towards the B side of the map. Maybe sending Nex in with a few smokes. So there's one of the smokes. I like that one they do. It's a little bounce smoke that goes a little bit shallower than usual. And he could be just trying to throw. This will be maybe an A split from throwing Nex in there. I'm not 100% sure. It's looking very interesting. So Nex is going in towards B, trying to find a frag. We should probably check him out. He's going to be falling back.
A is going to be under attack. Neo alone.
There it is.
Pasha's got Nex down. No further aggression towards B side, however. Very good fake rotations, or rather fakes 2 cause rotations.
Wow.
And the site's open. That simply. Kiev takes Biawi. Tabson's got Neo. Kiev's got Pasha going back.
I love that.
Yep.
Chad, get that one ready.
Chad, get that one ready. Big is looking awesome. God B is actually extremely clever, and I don't think Virtus.Pro is ready for what there's going to be thrown at them.
Let's break that down. They've already shown us that CT spawn execution strategy towards B. The 2 smoked on the bomb side itself, then focusing on towards CT spawn. They did the exact same smoke, same flashbangs. They sent Nex in by himself. Sure, he doesn't get a kill, but if you looked at the minimap, how many rotations came towards the A side of the map there? Bialy was gone. He was at the B side. Neo there alone. And they've got Kiev set up watching the arch position, watching those rotations to come back in, and it's too late. The AWP set up, takes him down, and it's going to be a real nice round there for Big. Virtus.Pro, like we said, on the brink of falling apart here in terms of the economic game. Have to save these 2 weapons towards T-spawn, a very safe area in that regard. Yep. But this means they force buy into this round around these M4s, still in a lot of danger. Yes, you say 2 weapons, but I guess they have to. They probably drop a couple of UMPs. And
that's actually so cool that one strategy leads to another based on success the first time around. If they were able to shut it down the first time, then they don't overreact in the second one.
That just shows you how comfortable they are right now. Like they're able to have successful executions and then variations of them as well, just baiting them into what they want them to do. That's really cool. I mean, like you said, God be an absolute legend of the game. Think about the ESL 1 Clo 2015. Everyone was so hyped about that, him and that mouse sports team, but a long time ago, of course. But he was considered one of the best in-game leaders.
I mean, he'd Alu on his team for a while as well.
He's a great CS mind, like a legend, like back to 1.6 days.
As he was rifling too. It's Chris J was opping at the time.
It's crazy, isn't it? How things change.
Kiev's going to be patient, getting in boiler. A little bit of damage sprayed through the edge of the wall, so he fires back in anticipation, but no one on the other side to catch it. Pasha, meanwhile, whiffed hard here in the pistol round.
These are the kind of rounds that VP always win, to be fair. Like, just when you think they're out of it, they'll come back in with just SMGs and pistols and manage to put it off. It's actually not a bad buy, all things considered, after getting reset as well. They managed to save 2 weapons, drop some UMPs. That's the problem with UMP these days. Only $1,200, man. You can actually get a realistic round together. It almost makes a mockery of the economic system.
I agree.
Like, they should be in a horrible place right now. The fact they got UMPs, you're like, yeah, that's all right. It's fine.
Legia dropping down, will get sprayed in. It's going to be Biawi with one of the UMPs. However, Tabson takes down Neo. He overlooks it. Pasha, he's spotted. He had the position, but next saw him in return. Down he goes, and Kiev takes Snax. This is absolutely a reset.
This is Blunder City right now. They get 2 players on the screen, can't find the shot. Didn't even check the corner. He should be getting 2 kills in that position. After finding Lagia there as he fumbled his way out the apartments, they thought, okay, Bialy's found that first frag. This should be a sequence of them now, and it falls apart once again. That set execution. I said Big had to rely on their set pieces, Matt. Get those smokes down, the Molotovs in, go together, trade frags, give yourself some sort of a chance to find and out-duel these players in. It's working very nicely right now. Another mishmash by falling apart. Gobby surely going to check this corner. He will, but get taken down by Taz. Refrag has to come in. Keith doesn't want to give away his AWP. But Taz still fighting. It's not worth it. You need to save the M4. They've got tons of money. You're not limiting them at all. They've got like 13K on 2 players, I think. I wanted to save that M4 and had a chance in this one. This has to be an eco now. So next round they get $2,400. Got about 2K per player now, so they need to take a pretty much full eco here. Maybe it's P250s at most. 7-1 for Big. We thought Virtus.Pro, like you said, boot camp, probably taking a bit more seriously now. I've been practicing the last couple of days. Let's start getting back into form and match ready. This is tier 3 opposition they're up against right now, and they look like they're struggling. They look like they're out of their depth.
Yeah. They're getting absolutely dismantled. They're not being proactive either.
No, no one's looking like they've got confidence. Look at the frag shots quickly. So it's not as bad as it was before. The highest we have is Pasha on 4, then 3, 3, 2, 2. No one's really stepping up at all. This is more the same. The complaints we've had in the online season so far, there's no individuals that are really playing well at all. Like normally we expect Snacks and Bialy. What a tag team duo that used to be. Non-existent at the moment. Pasha not finding anything in the AWP. Neo known for his amazing clutches. Haven't seen any of that. Taz normally a solid anchor wherever he is. Just there's nothing to report, man. I can't tell you one promising thing at the moment. But still early days. It's the best of 3, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Big execution coming in here with, I assume, next on the other side. Tabson, to be fair. Amazing recently. We'll see whether he can... Oh, Taz has left the side. This is over. Oh, fire everywhere.
Snacks in the corner. Pistol only.
So
and they're going to back it off as well. Look at A.
What do you look at that?
Just look at it.
Look at this.
The one thing that's interesting, though, is Neo's position. Doubt he'll get more than 1 here, even if that tries to be clever. Next says no. How's Tabson doing in the frag totals, by the way? He's up to 12 now.
Top fragging.
Next on 10, just behind. That gives them 22 combined. And if you combine them and then look at Virtus.Pro, they have 14 altogether. So
just to
those 2 alone winning.
Break this down. Yeah, if VP loses this game, that's not out probably just yet. It's a GSL kind of format.
Yeah, but if they're in the lower bracket tomorrow, and if they lose that, then they are.
Yes.
And they could be going against, would it be Penta they would play?
Yes. They just lost to Hellraisers 2-0.
Yep.
Yes, it will be them.
That's right. Yeah, there's only 4 teams. I think there was 6 for some reason, but no. There's 3 relegation spots, 1 of which is already occupied.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is actually very promising now. You get a trade like that on the T side, you're looking good. Rotation has to come in towards B, and it's up to Snacks now. This could be another fake.
They could be. They might just go. They don't want to overuse the fake. I think they're starting to overthink it a bit.
The nades are going in here.
It doesn't even matter. Keeve takes down Snacks. They've already rotated. They're already inside of the smoke, so they've rotated 1 player towards CT. They're going to bring him back. It's next at water. So they won't push all the way around, and they think it's clear this time. Bialy gets there, drops the bomb. Pasha does as well. The rotation's finally working for Virtus.Pro. They'll take down Lagia, and it's a case of actually the misplays favor Virtus.Pro because Big thought that time, okay, we beat them again, and it turns out their over-anticipation worked.
Yeah, one of those rounds where you're just trying to get the bomb down desperately. Didn't even check any boxes there. That's sloppy play from Big. You should never get the bomb down or rush it. That's how you lose rounds. You might think, yeah, great, I'll get the bomb down nice and early. That's going to buy us a few seconds. We've got a great chance of winning the round. If you haven't cleared out the bomb side and you lose the round like that, you're going to have a bit of a red face going into the next round. That was pretty poor. The execution was nice. So many nades used. You can see how smothering that was from Big, but overall, just made a few blunders there as they finally made their way on the site. So round number 11 now, 8-2. Not so much reset potential this time, but with the reinvestment of the grenade, this still would be heavy hitting. 3 players on $0, so actually it's pretty damaging still. Another must-win round for Virtus.Pro here, 8-2. As we're in round number 11, all back in the hands of Snacks this time, not Pasha, just to know. He's at the B side.
A2 is huge. Tabson, meanwhile, already inside of Boiler. Is going to wait. Last time they walked out from Boiler, they were successful on A. Bialy behind the pillar, shows too much of his arm, doesn't realize it. Tabson gets wide, takes him down. It's Neo waiting at pit. Barrel as well, so he's playing left of the wall, trying to get a different angle as they walk in from Diggity.
I like that double Molotov towards trash area because they do stack in this game as well. There's double damage if it lands there. So if there's a player, he can't even do that thing when he waits for a few seconds then shows himself. He'll just be burnt to a cinder within seconds. So that's quite a cool idea. Obviously expends a lot of utility, but if there is someone there, it gives you a guaranteed frag. Pasha now has to step up here and he's going. Okay, that poor aim once again, Pasha. You expected to hit those shots. Had the pre-aim correct, and now it's Neo. He's getting stifled on the side here. Can't even find a single fragment. This is the reason they have to save these weapons once again. Snacks. What's going on? They're making Virtus.Pro look foolish here. Just very good play from Big. Don't get me wrong, but Virtus.Pro, the aim's not really there. The teamwork, there's no.
They look stunned. They don't look like they're a team that plays this map or knows how to play this map right now.
Well, I think the problem that's missing right now is, like you said, they're not being assertive at the start of rounds. They're giving Big too much respect. They've got all their grenades. They're getting middle with absolutely nothing. When they go towards, he's going to die at this push. What's he doing?
I don't really know what Keeve was doing.
Nice one, mate. Bunny hopping around.
Good job, bud. Good job. Yeah, I don't really know what the plan was there. He clearly knew Snacks had the op and just took a shot. I'd push. I would push because now they're going to lose all kinds of weapons.
Yeah, they're still fine. They've got like 3 players in 5 digits, right? So
all right, listen, listen, Henry, let me dramatize. Yeah, I know that's what I do, okay? I'm a drama queen.
Right, they go up against an eco here. Surely Virtus.Pro don't force into this one. Please, 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 no. Don't do it. Oh, they might be doing it, Matt. They might do it.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing it. They're going all in.
Well, they've got just Pasha's gone all in. Bialy's under 800. It's not looking great. They're not going to be able to buy next round, so they might as well give it a go, I guess. Deagles, 5-7s, 3 sets of body armor, 1 smoke. It's going to be double digits for Big almost suddenly. Like we said, Virtus.Pro are the masters of winning these sort of rounds. Traditionally, maybe not in this form, I'm not so sure. But yeah, just so you know, like this is Virtus.Pro. One of the most highly decorated teams we have in the game, one of the longest standing rosters we have right now, winning big tournaments this year as well, like Vegas, they won that event.
Yeah, but I mean, look, anyone who read the statement that I made yesterday on clarification, okay, we got to start here with the pistols, Bialy and Neo getting some kills, and Bialy getting an AK picked up as well. For all that's worth, Henry, that's fine. They are decorated, but they still have to put in the effort. And to me, it just appears like they're doing nothing. They're just... I get it, they're legends, and as they said earlier, you know, they've got families, they've got lives, but it's disgraceful to me to show up and represent themselves this way, and it makes a bit of a mockery of the league and, anyway, the situation. I think that they have a due diligence and obligation to put in a better performance. Maybe they are just in a slump, maybe there's other aspects, I don't know, but that's the way it appears from the outside, so you have to take it at face value.
4 on 3 now, 35 seconds remaining. They have got that AK-47, but 2 players on the A side here, 2 towards B. They are separated, and I would still give the advantage towards Big, but time is running out here, slowly making their way towards the A side, wrapping from Arch, and it comes down to this crossfire. The AK is on the side of the map. Bialy, though, finally getting it done, and this should be a round now for VP, almost certainly. So like we said, VP seem to be finding these rounds all the time, just when you think they're completely wrecked. They get the pistols out and manage to put it off. So that's a good recovery by them, managed to get an AWP as well. Big will be disappointed at that point. They'll be thinking, oh, we could really run away with this game and shut them down. We've given them a window now. It's 9-3, another shutdown moment for Virtus.Pro. Haven't been able to string together 2 rounds yet, and that's no surprise considering the scoreline, but here we go. Still, they get 9-6, still very recoverable. Round of 13, Keeve towards Banana with the AWP. Could get something out of this, Nade's coming in, but just holding up for now.
Taz. Again, being cautious, gets flashed out. No one there. They are down in Banana, but he'll smoke them off. That'll buy them a little bit more time. Cops a nade in the testicle, down to 54. So even when they finally do something to slow down the pace of Big, they still take damage for it. Bialy, meanwhile, is going to continue to work his way up next and Tabson together.
Yeah, well, the execution game for Big's been very good so far. Virtus.Pro haven't had an answer for it. I think we stick to that. The defaults, that's when you're losing the pistols. I think you stick to these executions. Let's get it done. Get in there. And Gobi and Legia on the A side of the map right now, holding the rotations for a little while. It looks like Legia might be committed to this. Fully blind, he might back off. And so Gobi goes out towards B. So we're certainly now a B push. It's going to be Tabson going in first. Doesn't check CD spawn. That's a bit weird, but okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah, I think he checked the wide side and forgot the boost. Anyway, goes Taz's way. Snack's getting a kill before he perishes.
Yeah, these little errors now are starting to show for Big. There's slight issues. It's not checking key areas and running past.
And it's been a great half. It would be a shame to see it slip away.
Yeah.
Bomb plant, though. One man down. Good shot from Kiev. Takes out Taz. Even though they try and bait, hits the second on a Neo. Legia doesn't need to do much because Gobby's already sprayed into Biawi. It's just Pasha remaining. And they can play the bomb, they can play the time, but they're going to have to do it in a one-on-one. And Pasha can actually tap and hold if he wants. Legia, he's not going to peek. It's down to 1 second. He's got to go. He's not going to. Pasha's going to win the round for VP.
Yeah, Legia too scared to face at that point. Assumed it would be the fake defuse. It didn't happen, though. And we'll see what happens as we go forward. Virtus.Pro managed to salvage another round. 9-4. A few mistakes being made by Big at this point, not checking that boost position clearly. Tabs Inferno to the side. They're expecting him to be the danger man and find the frags required. They still have money Big to work with here. It's round number 14. 9-4. The buys are a little bit weak for Virtus.Pro, coming down to a 1v1 there. Max 7 for Neo. Snacks with the UMP. Pasha does take the AWP into the next round. But for now, still looking very good for Big. They've got that full buyout. 2 players of our head armor. Not a big deal really against just AKs and an AWP, but some spam damage there coming towards Neo. So yeah, it's a couple of rounds where you thought Big had it all tied up. Then there's falling in the last half. They could have had a massive half here, but Virtus.Pro, credit where credit is due, have managed to arrive in the clutch situations, at least in a couple of situations.
Next is going to sit in behind the barrels and wait for them to push, just as Neo does toward the apartments. It's Legia that gets him. So both sides of the map, all facets covered for Big. I feel disingenuous almost to make puns about Big because it's too obvious.
It is, isn't it? I was thinking earlier. I thought, oh, we can have some fun with this, but it's like, even for us,
it just seems, yeah, it seems too obvious. Like,
yeah.
Okay, well, Pasha has pulled this back. He's got a third. Guppy goes down, at least Bialy in the pit to hold off the round. We could go 9-6. Virtus.Pro seem to be finally waking up to this game, and I think maybe Big's cleverness has run out. They may not have much left to it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, it's going to be Tech9 finishing things off 9-6, like we said. You get the 9-6, you win the pistol in the second half, you're back into this game, and they're absolutely right. They look much better in the last few rounds, actually starting to hit some shots. They were like 5-0 down at one stage. But getting into it now, we go into round number 15, the end of the first half. It's a Galil, an AK-47, 3 Tech9s. Quite a lot of utility to work with, but now we're starting to see that assertive play from Pasha. He's going towards the middle, he's getting aggressive in second as well. That's what we wanted to see. Actually hunting for the frag to the start, showing you're the better player and you're willing to take duels and take some risks, calculated risks, to find the opening frag. We haven't seen that at all really in this first half. I guess the money game's been so weak, they haven't really had the economy to work with that idea, but for now, that was very good. Pasha gets the opening frag, taking down Legia.
Pasha's going to get himself in a position again to watch Boiler, still playing somewhat passive-aggressive rather than hunting. He's holding an aggressive angle. Tabs and maybe heading that direction as well. As soon as I say that, of course, he looks back toward Kiev, where Neo will Molotov them off, but now he heads to the doorway. Pasha, wide step, looking top mid, hits it, spots the player coming out of Boiler, but Tamsin a little bit too quick. Unfortunately, oversteps the mark with the bomb in hand. Gombi takes Biawi, gives him a chance for a wrap, but Kiev has perished in its great job, unfortunately, wrapping into death. 9-6, Virtus.Pro making a case for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They were 9-1 down, I think, at one point, Matt, so they've done a very good job. Right at the end there, they found it, got it together. Big looks
That is not the current score. It's 9-6.
It's 9-6. Big looking so good at the execution, like we said. We were relying on that. Some great fakes there as well. But then as the half went on, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah. As the half went on, some key mistakes were made, which led to them having an eco in the last round. As we 9-6, still a very possible game for Virtus.Pro. We'll take a quick break and see if they can come back here on Inferno.
Well, it was all big to start it off. They were 8-2 up. It wasn't quite 9-1, Hank. You were close, but it was dominant when they were doing it. Good execution. Virtus.Pro looked absolutely lost. And then somehow they pulled their way back into this game, and we've got a 9-6 halftime where Virtus.Pro looks like they could actually take over if they continue to get assertive, I think is the word.
Yeah, I think so as well. They looked very flat. The aims were poor. The teamwork and chemistry wasn't really together there for the first 10 rounds or so, but they turned it on towards the end. So like we said, credit where credit is due, and they managed to make it at least a competitive game and a chance still in the second half. It's going to be 9-6, and if they win the pistol, we have a real chance of actually getting back into this one. And we'll see as we have one player that's leaving the server, and we'll get into this momentarily. So, Matt, let's kind of theorize how the second half goes. It's going to be Virtus.Pro now on the terrorist side. It's still certainly a city-sided map. It's still a disappointing half, I would say, all things considered for a VP. Certainly, he's supposed to be the world-class team here, the Tier 1 opposition against Big, who are still down there in like Tier 3, Tier 4, like they're doing well at events like Mountain Dew League finals.
Yep.
And we'll see whether they can, not even winning those events, right? You'd expect Virtus.Pro to kind of eat these guys for breakfast, but we'll see what happens. It's 9-6. It's a best of 3. So it's still early days here, only in the first half of the first map. So let's not get too wild. But we'll see what happens as we go forward.
When we go forward, if we go forward. I'm curious as well if Big are capable of being... I mean, we saw clever tactics and very... obviously calculated aggression. Like, they knew what they wanted to do. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. They had tactics that were up their sleeve, but we didn't necessarily see adaptation calls. We did definitely see fakes, but now I'm curious to see how they adapt and rotate on the CT side.
Well, that's the thing.
It's one thing to have a very structured game for the T side. It's another thing to have teamwork on the CT side.
Yeah, you still can have calculated aggression on the CT side, right? It's not just the terror side. You have the tactics and the set pieces. You can still have those on the CT side. You can throw an aggressive round once in every 3, right? You can send maybe 3 players towards Banana, get overwhelmed the T side on that side of the map, or you can even do that down middle as well. We see plenty of teams try and execute that sort of idea. They push down middle and second middle and spot from bedroom and all that sort of stuff. So I'm interested to see what they bring to the table there. It's a team we've probably never casted, I don't think, Big. Have we ever done that?
No, we never have.
So,
I've definitely followed closely since DreamHack Leipzig, or Leipzig.
Leipzig?
Leipzig?
I don't know.
Yeah. Leipzig. We're being told. Leipzig. I definitely am going to get in trouble for butchering that eventually. But yeah, we've never had the pleasure. Speaking of aggression, Gabi tries to fire down. Look at Tabson. Look how hard he's going down this, but he's got to check to his right because Pasha is there, blinded off. Next takes the trade and takes Biawi as well. He managed to get away with it. Pasha could have done so much more. Nearly kills his teammate, does Legia. He's left him out to dry next because he's got to go against Neo. Manages to do so, but Snacks gets out Boiler. It's a very quick round. And Next is the one doing all of the damage. 4 kills, 10 rounds for Big.
Quite a messy round, but I like it. It's going to be a technical pause there. A chance for us to catch our breath after the excitement the pistol round brought in the second half. Virtus.Pro were hungry to pick that one up, but the aggression coming in from Big, like we said, there are plenty of opportunities in a map like Inferno to push down Milan. That's exactly what they did. And Legia tagging his teammate in the head. Got a bit tense there, but they managed to win the round. Let's have a look at the scoreboards while we're here as well. 16 kills with Tabs and continuing that good form, it seems. The kind of analysts were suggesting he potentially couldn't have those kind of performances. Not going absolutely wild, don't get me wrong, it's only 16 kills, but that's after 16 rounds. That's quite consistent throughout. And in terms of first place in their team, I think it's Nex. He seems to be still on top of his game. Obviously, we talked about him in the pre-game, like how he dropped off from top-tier play.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is habitat, if that makes sense. So if you're a star player, put among other star players or someone that's slightly better than you are, let's say someone slightly more skilled, a lot of players don't do well settling for second in that role.
They feel more comfortable being the star.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I hate referencing it. It was years ago at this point as well. Let's be honest, we're getting old quite quickly, Henry.
Yeah.
But even in COD days, I remember when I had teammates that could... I mean, I went to in-game leading. That was where I had my most success. But early on, I had teammates that played the same roles as me or were more flamboyant than me or more aggressive than me. I just didn't do well supporting them. But then if I was the player playing that way, I reveled in it. Even if I wasn't as good as they were, it was just more comfortable. It was more natural. And I think sometimes, a player like Nex, if he's got to go back seat in a team, maybe it doesn't really work as well. Maybe not just him, but in general, I think that's true. I think habitat is important.
Yeah,
the surroundings of your teammates.
You could call him a big fish in a small pond in that regard. He probably gets to do exactly what he wants in this team. They want him to be the carry for them, so they're happy for him to go wherever he wants. He's not going to be overshadowed by, let's say, someone like Nico in the team. He's probably going to say, no, you're not playing that. I play that position, obviously. I'm the star here. And he probably has to kind of compromise in a lot of situations. So this team is probably perfect for him. Like, they've got the leadership of God B, and hopefully they can kind of transcend into something great. Like, on paper, these are good players, decorated players. Like God B, like he's been to majors before. Same story with Nex as well. Legia, he's got a great history in CS:GO overall. He's actually been the coach of Kingwin, if you remember that far back.
Yep.
That was kind of interesting period for him. The team that obviously ended up as phased, not anywhere near the original lineup.
Yeah, he wasn't there long.
No.
That was quite quick. I think it was like a 3-month period, if that. Could be wrong. Time flies sometimes. You don't realize it.
I'm trying to think back to the events he turned up with them. DreamHack London was definitely one of them. That was when.
Oh yeah, you're ripping into the doldrums of my memory at that point in time.
Yeah, and I think DreamHack Valencia, he was there for them as well. So it's that sort of period, that sort of time frame. So it's like late 2015 to early 2016, very early 2016. Wow.
I only remember one game from DreamHack London.
I don't remember any.
Yes,
I remember what the room looks like.
You remember Renegades losing?
That's true. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's you can't argue that. there's plenty of documents of that in my brain. Yeah, that's true. Let's get into it, shall we? It's going to be the bomb not going down to this Virtus.Pro. So forced by, of course, Taps a bit too aggressive there. Calm down, boys. You're up against the Deagles. Don't have to overcommit here. They've got armor as well. Don't give anything away. They're just as powerful as you toe-to-toe when you've got the SMGs. They do find the first frag, but it costs them quite a lot of HP. Comes under 14, they gear at 55. They'll fall back to a crossfire setup at this point. With the two smoke CD spawn in the coffins area, flash over. Hope for the best, but caught with the pants down. It's going to be Virtus.Pro as I make their final move towards the B-side.
Yeah, massive gap. Panic throw on the smoke. Either way, Piawi goes in and takes down Tabson.
Ooh.
Taz takes Legia. Kiev gonna try and push through. Bomb to be planted. They've got the man advantage. They're also low, but none of them are being found by the bullets. Everyone's within one shot.
They're looking a bit panicked right now. CTs.
That's the thing. Numbers are numbers. If they're still alive and set crossfires, this could still go their way, especially with the bomb down. Kiev starts the charge. He'll be the first one around the corner. UMP in hand, walks to his right, jumping, no, there's the double up, and just like that, Virtus.Pro pick up a round.
They do all that damage, and then they don't have the crossfires, and Kiev, I have to say, when he's at that coffin position, well, you've got a smoke in front of him, sure, but at least try and deny the plant as it's getting planted down there. Everyone's probably calling, they're lit. You probably at least give it a spam, something, but he fell back and lost all control there. Like, he had 3 players in front of him, low HP. If you even attempted a spam, could have got something going there. So it's going to be Virtus.Pro fighting back in the second round, of course, and it's going to be a force by return from Big. 5-7s, Deagles, and a scout for Legia. Let's see what he can do. Can he find any tags as he goes towards the B side of the map? Helped out by Tabs, and he's spamming with the Deagle, trying to maybe bait in a T by the face, and it sort of works out, but can't land a shot there, Legia. Fires just over the shoulder of the T player on the steps.
Good shot from Gabi. Take down Biawi. Taz will continue looking both directions after losing his teammate. He considers that someone may be pushing into Boiler. They're not. They're using Legia on an old school tactic. Imagine that wall with the prevalence of the jump scout as it used to be.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Dear Lord, I wouldn't even go banana on the second round.
Yeah, that's true. Scout's certainly been nerfed, and it's actually a nice nerf, one of the few good nerfs Valve did, I think. It's still viable, but not overpowered. That's what we want.
Yeah, 100%. UMP.
Yeah.
Next, I'll wait at this little barrel. It's actually a keg. It's a craft beer. It's called Inferno, actually.
It's just called Inferno?
Yeah.
They got a bit spicy, is it?
It's a bit spicy. Usually coming out.
Nutmeg in there?
Yeah. It's a real scorcher. Inferno Brewing Co. Scorcher. That's what it is. That's it. That's coin it, Henry. We'll sell it to Counter-Strike fans at events everywhere. Mostly in Sydney. We'll sell them to people in shoes.
With Sedicus t-shirts as well.
Coming soon.
Well, full save at this point, and somehow the force buy for Big, it works out, Matt. Very good job there. After getting completely wrecked in the second round, they fight back with a force buy of their own, and they go back into the driving seat here. So VP saved 2 weapons here. They still have enough to kind of balance the books and drop some weapons over Bialy just under 5k. I thought they'd take a pause at this point, but doesn't seem to be the case. Go to round number 4 here. It's 11-7. Big steal around away, and they're going to be going in with M4s, UMPs, and the scouts, of course, for the gear. And we'll see whether the force buy. I guess it's a decent buy, to be fair, for Virtus.Pro. Second 2 weapons. And this is the aggressive play we wanted to see, Matt. Assertive stuff from Big is going to be next. And Tabs are doing a great job pinching the banana area as well. 3 kills in total. It's just overwhelming, stifling almost for Virtus.Pro. They cannot hold it off. And it's going to be just 1 player remaining, Bialy, who's had a pretty lackluster game so far. Started to get a little bit, well, I guess much better towards the end of that. A side seemed to be locked down towards the last 5 rounds of the CT half. But that's a great round to chuck in there. We said that was an option every 4 rounds or so. Throw one of these in just to keep them on their toes. And it's looking quite nice. I didn't agree with that move. Why are they doing this? Why is this happening? Yeah. You've got a 3-on-1. Why are you pushing him 1 by 1?
Don't understand that at all. Bomb down as well.
God.
Bialy just gets 2 kills, gets the bomb back up. He can go anywhere he likes.
I can't believe his luck.
He can go anywhere he likes as well, because look at Kyiv.
Yeah, this is why this team would always be considered like tier 2, team 3. That's just
well, at least for now. Remember, they are still relatively new.
I mean, for now, yeah, sure. But this is why those kind of plays, that doesn't have to happen at all. You have a 3 versus 1. You just put someone defensive in CT spawn is getting information, right? And 2 on the A site, maybe 1 in library. Just hold up, make him come and plant the bomb. Then you come in together. You're almost certainly going to win a 3 versus 1 situation, even if he plants. You running in, hunting him down towards T-spawn when he's got a minute 15 to play with. You're playing a really dangerous game there, and this is the situation they got themselves into. Luckily, Kyiv's heading to the right side of the map. Oh, it looks like he's going back towards B. He might just about hear the bomb go down.
He's going to hear this. He's going to be in the right position at the right time. If Bialy doesn't look, if he has the ball, oh, I think he spotted him. He saw the bullets come through.
Oh, the panic.
And now Bialy has to make a decision. He's got to try and get the bomb down in behind the box. Kyiv's going to get closer and closer, but the pre-fire from Bialy nails it. And Virtus.Pro pick up 9. Big are slowly losing control of this game.
Yeah, that's shocking. That can spell with disaster now. Big could be start bigger out. Take a pause here and calm down a little bit. We'll see what happens as we go into round number 5. It's going to be another eco. That's such a gut. Yeah, a pause. I'm not sure what that's called by. If production let me know, that'd be great, just so I can work out.
I would assume it's big at this point in time, because that's a shocking round.
Virtus.Pro did the BM, kind of pause and say, stew over that one, boys. But
I don't know if they're in a position to do that. But.
Yeah, but still, that's just shocking. That shouldn't be happening. That's another key round I'd like Chad to chime in on, you know.
Chad to chime in on.
I'd like to see what the Beaver thinks about that. As Big, looking like they're going to be forced buying into this round. It's 11-8, tactical pause. And that could be the entrance of Virtus.Pro looking back into it. Such a good start round as well. The really aggressive pincer towards the T-steps. 2 banana, 3 down middle as well. First 3 kills come in their favour. So that's a 5-on-2, essentially, they've just lost there. And ending up in a 3 versus 1 victory for Bialy. So, very promising round for VP as we get into this one. Juggling the gun around in CT spawn right now, as you can see. 2 M4s, 2 5.7s. Next yet to buy, he'll probably come in either a FAMAS or a UMP. Could buy the M4 he wants. He'll be limited in terms of just having body armour, but not necessarily a big deal, but they have got UMPs. So in terms of anyone's not aware, in online play, we normally have about a 5-minute counter in pause time available. So it's not like you get 4 pauses per game or anything. You're like a 5-minute. It's not like super strict. We don't like. I don't think we watch the stopwatch like down to a T, but it's like that's what we're kind of looking at.
Yeah, the reason I say Virtus.Pro's not really in a position to call that time is you only get the 1 online, unless they're confident they can close this. Snacks, quick toward banana, forced in is Big with 3 M4s and 2 5.7s. Might as well call it a full buy. Everything's full buy these days. Is that right? Can we agree on that, Hank?
Yeah.
Default pistols, full buy.
Yeah, breaks my heart.
So Gia that will wait in behind the half wall, smokes down. 2 players approaching, but back off immediately after the smoke deploys. Arch side's watched pretty heavily from Kyiv. Doesn't really have much of a weapon to fight. There it is. Spots it, smokes it off. That's the right call. That's all he was looking for. Just a little information. Second smoke Interesting, because he left a gap. They cover off the gap. Does that imply to him that they're going to be pushing toward Diggity? Well, it certainly appears they will. I might have pushed through that as a result, but he thinks better of it. Gobby certainly thinks better of pushing and goes directly in toward the apartment. Instead, cuts us off Snacks, but goes down immediately after.
Round number 5 looking very promising here for Virtus.Pro. Is this retake even worth it? I think he'd save the 2 and 4s at this stage. As we'll see what happens as we... Yeah, okay, they will be saving. The money situation not looking great. They're going to have second stage loss bonus after this one. 4 players, oh, actually all 5, almost 0. Gobby with 1 kill that round has $300. So saving the 2 and 4 and the 5-7 head armor for Kiev. We can get one more gun out of this, that'd be great. Doesn't look like Virtus.Pro are necessarily hunting. I guess you want them to save these weapons at this point, that kind of NIP kind of game plan of allowing them to save weapons where the loss bonus is really low and keep baiting them into, keep force buying and thinking they can win those sort of rounds, and then you just keep whittling them down and get them into a sort of economic rut. As very promising, if you're not aware of Bialy's position. It looks weird, like most maps you consider him to be dead, but ever since sourced this map, you could stand in that position and somehow get away with just looking at the bomb being 10 meters away from it. It's very strange in that respect. Bit of an anomaly. We go there, round number 6, and like I said, force buying into it. You might as well, like, this is the problem with the force buys. You just get UMPs and must be completely comfortable and think, yeah, this round's possible. That's the main thing. Like in 1.6, right, you can only get the MP5. That was basically the equivalent. And that gun was just not good at all against armor. It couldn't really do much. Just using the second round against a fully used.
Snacks takes Legia and Tabson, so it is going to be Virtus.Pro getting this to within 1 round, it should appear. Unfortunate for Big, considering the start they had a few mistakes, and you've pointed them out, especially the 1 versus 3.
Yeah, that was... Oh, that's going to
There
haunt
it is.
me.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
Trigger.
Every time you bring it up, I get a bit more angry. Like, that's just like, oh, you just got to be... You got to, like, even though Virtus.Pro are in a slump right now, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're very good players still, and you make those kind of massive mistakes, those blunders, they're going to capitalize on them, and they've got themselves right back into this game. It's going to be 11-10 after this one, and Big, they've had so many opportunities to run away with this game. Just some small errors and some massive ones as well, to be fair, have found themselves with a very close gap now between Virtus.Pro. Saving the UMPs once again seems to be a common trend so far in the second half. A 5-7 Kiev once more. And this time, Virtus.Pro looking a little more active in terms of the hunt to take down these remaining players.
Neo's still spraying into the boxes. Trying to figure out exactly where the last 3 players dwell. They'll sit back and save their UMPs in the 5-7. It's going to give us 1 round between it and Virtus.Pro equaling that. Not so much on execution, but just on either mistakes and over-aggression by Big or straight-up skill in winning duels.
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
Are they forcing them to get... Okay, well, they've got 36 lost bonus, so they keep them at about 2k. So they're just balancing everyone's money to about the same amount. Kiev looking for the AWP next round, of course, he's got 3k. But haven't really done much here in the second half. They got the pistol and then the third round force buy, but in terms of the gun rounds, haven't really had many of them now. 3 rounds in a row for Virtus.Pro. This will bring us to 11-11. After that 9-6 first half, losing the pistol, you'd think Virtus.Pro would be in a horrible situation, but it's quite promising now. Certainly the favoured team going into this best of 3. If you're not aware of the format, just joining us maybe. This is the first stage of the kind of GSL-style bracket. We have 4 teams. There's an upper and a lower bracket. This is the first round, with Hellraisers winning their side of the bracket against Penta. Simple round.
Yeah, Pasha's got Kiev down. We're going to look to 11-11 scoreline.
Make a wish big. You're going to need
much.
it.
Yeah, there you go. Not much they're going to be able to do about this one with pistols, and despite Neo on 2 and Taz on 17. Snacks now on 11. Fair enough. It's nothing Legia can do about it.
Legia with a 5-7 in the library, no armor, no nades. Just trying to get one of these frags as the T's maybe exit. But they're normally going to be like focusing down middle and sticking together. There are 3 low HP players available. You would love one of those, but no one really in his direction. He's in the library. Pasha's watching it, sort of. Gets headshot, but it's not his problem because Legia with no armor. As soon as he takes 1 bullet, any part of his body, that aim goes right up in the air. And he can't actually finish off the job there. So the AWP comes out for Kiev now. And we do have a nice buy overall. No kits from what I can see just yet. Probably 1 picked up, at least. No, going for the utility. Bold play. We'll see if that works out for them.
Yeah, I hate seeing no kits. Give me 1 at least.
Yeah, instead of that incendiary, like, what's going to win you the round? The 1 kit or that 1 incendiary?
7 seconds versus 10 seconds.
Yeah.
7 seconds to keep them out of a position or 10 seconds to defuse.
Yeah, I think you always want to have one kit if you have the option to. That's a bit of a scary thought, but for the utility, we'll see whether that works in their favor as they go aggressive towards Banana. Smoke down towards that T-steps means they can have control of that area at least, but fortunately, Virtus.Pro focusing heavily on the apartments. Kiev and Tapson doing some work now. 2 frags at the same time, not bad at all.
Kiev backs off as well. They come to the arch. Molotov means, based on where that lands, they know he's pretty much got to be inside of the archway or all the way around toward library, so they'll pre-aim that when they walk around the corner. He's got to be a bit careful. Kiev, although it's extinguished and they've not yet shown presence.
5 on 3. 1 minute remaining. Smokes all over the place in the A side. Virtus.Pro still with a shot with this round. Execution looks decent. You know, at the boot camp right now, probably worked on a few strategies here. Molotov towards the pit area. As at the next, they're trying to dodge the flashbang. Scoppy cannot do the same. And he's going to hide in the smoke and not survive for too long. It's up to next now to try and defend this A side. Wait for the smokes to go down. There's getting some control of the pit area. Next, a bit of a whiff. Trying to find that frag. Eventually gets it.
Next, we'll sit inside of the corner. Kiev's got Biawi. This is going to be around finally for Big. Only their third of the half. Neo's got the bomb in front of him, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it. He's being stared down and tapped at by Nex.
So it's been a rough second half so far for Big, but they have recovered there. Some assertive players we described in the first half, finding those first 2 kills, 5 on 3. Virtus.Pro the full execution of the A site, smoking themselves in the pit. That's interesting. They're actually not looking for bomb site control. They want just full pit control. Wall of smokes in that area, get 3 players in the pit, then maybe boost up towards the graveyard and try and find kill by kill, then eventually get to the site. But Next, like we said, had to step up there, managed to get that first kill and hold off the rotations, and his teammates getting in, joining him in there on the site and managing to overwhelm. Virtus.Pro is still money available here, 12-11. Orb for either side. Pasha biceps on the T side with the orb here. And it looks like maybe a little A fake from Bialy. His teammate's getting ready a B for full execution. We'll see whether Bialy wants to go for those rotation frags and like coming for the backstabbing CD spawn or try and sell something to the A side first. I would say the former, considering he's by himself, can't really be baited in with smokes or flashbangs.
Kiev waiting with the AWP. Perfect position. Flash out. Catches him. He thought he was backed off far enough, but not quite. So well thrown from Bialy. I'm sticking with the Polish.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're doing there.
It means the White Death. It's Bialy.
Yeah, I thought.
That's how you say it.
I was like, lost the ability to speak, but no, I didn't even know that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I have lost the ability to speak, Henry.
Yeah. What does it mean, the White Death, did you say?
The White Death, apparently, or just White Death.
Okay.
So I'm told by Carmack. Is that a man to trust?
Well, he's Polish, so yeah, that would make sense.
But it's Carmack.
Yep, true, he could just be trying to embarrass you.
Just embarrassed me. Yeah. I was very skeptical when he first told me that at Katowice, or Katowice, and he...
I can look it up.
Yeah, well, I did it on stream to try it, and a lot of people were very confused as to what I was saying, but most people said that I was correct. So, but they could have just been Carmack's friends. That's a good read from Snacks, I have to say. The boosted position nails it. Kiev takes him down finally through the edge of the smoke with the AWP, but they've lost 2 members and the site.
Yeah, that's still a relatively new spot people are starting to use, but it's coming more and more into the fray in terms of the CT setup on Inferno. So you can see players actually pre-firing that now and actually going at the idea behind that originally was you can't get flash position, you can't be Molotov necessarily as well, and no one's be pre-firing it. There's be so focused towards Emo and the fountain and first oranges that you're able to get 1 frag and drop off. Snacks though, 1 step ahead.
And a good hunt from Neo here because they know the situation. This is a reset and they have to save.
It is a reset. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, they won the previous round. So saving 3 weapons here certainly worth the hunt. And Neo finds the orb. That's the high-value target gone down. But Next does recover the AWP. But Pasha still unrelenting. Wants to try and find another kill here. He's going attack AWP. And this is a pre-fire. Oh, that's so good. Actually gets the orb down as well. Really well played by Pasha. That's a high risk, that's high reward sort of play from him. And he manages to pull it off. 12-12, Virtus.Pro tie things up once again. So Matt, like you said, full reset. They save an AK. Do they force around this? I don't think so. They've got 2 players, 3 players in fact, at 3K. That's enough for a buy next round with the $1,900. So I think you take an eco here.
Yeah, this is tough. Apparently it only means white, someone said.
Just means white, too. Okay.
It just means white, yeah. Fair enough. Maybe he just Carmack gave me a sweet line to use. The White Death. If Virtus.Pro make it into the playoffs of the major, asterisks, I'll use it. Why not?
Okay. All right. Are you looking forward to Dallas, Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be quick. I'm supposed to be home on Friday. That was the plan. That might be changing.
Yeah.
But I'm home next week at some point in time. Do the first race in the car, get up at 5:30 in the morning the next day, exhausted, obviously, from a weekend in the car, and go straight to Burbank, where we start the group stages. Players are in Dallas. We're in Burbank. And then we fly to Dallas to join them for the playoff phase of the playoffs. The playoff phase of the finals.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I've never been to Texas. Have you?
Have I? Yes, I have. Not often. Unfortunately, I missed Austin both last years due to a conflict. The first being the PGL minor last year in Korea. And the second this year being, unfortunately, that we couldn't have been there and flown to Sydney in time to make it.
Yeah.
So we had to choose Sydney over top of it. I need to get to Austin. I hear it's the coolest of all the cities down there. I have been in Dallas twice before, twice or three times.
I haven't heard in terms of like, a
Twice.
fun city to visit. I haven't heard amazing things about Dallas.
It's more of a business city. I found the
Yeah.
downtown quarter emptied out at about 5. The most attractive thing in the city for tourists is the grassy knoll and the whole JFK
Okay.
museum. It was interesting to go there and hear the conspiracy theories and whatnot. I don't know what I believe. I don't really care. It happened. It's an interesting part of history. That's good enough for me to be interested in it. But yeah, I need to go. And the other city, obviously, Austin, is more known for the tech. Houston's another one too, but
Yeah.
who goes to Houston?
Well,
Unless you're going to outer space.
I'm looking forward to it. We did a little podcast earlier on the Analyst Desk about all the preview, so if you want to go check that out, I'm sure you can find it on Reddit or something. That was quite a nice little breakdown, I thought. Anyway, we're into round number 10. It's 12-12. Virtus.Pro have got themselves right back in this game. It's an eco from Big with on AK-47. Haven't given it to one of the star players necessarily. It's got to be God B. I guess he's got the armor. That makes sense. He takes that from the last round. But he'll be doing what he can with the AKs. Good job so far. 2 kills, and maybe they can actually make this work.
Tapson!
What?
What is that? Can we get his perspective? He just nailed them.
With 3
No,
kills
we
of
can't.
Peter
Sorry,
50.
that's the answer. Thank you, Henning. Appreciate it, you Viking.
Yeah, 3 kills of PT50. That wasn't bad at all. Okay,
That's
then.
insane. I
1
love
AK and some pistols. God B, like I said, not a star player, but managed to get 2 kills in the apartments with the AK. Funnels him towards B, where Tapson lights him up with that PT50. Not too bad. Okay, double AWP set him now for the CT. It's quite prevalent in the meta these days on the CT side of Inferno. At least Kiev, be careful. They're waiting for you on the other side of Pasha Biceps with the AWP on the T steps. Decides not to fully commit. That's the correct decision. And it's round number 11. Big in the lead once again. That's 2 eco victories for either side now. Virtus.Pro got it 1 in the first half, now Big doing it in the second.
And what a time to be alive for Big.
Yeah. After having a few blunders, that's maybe made up for it.
Yeah, I would say that's quite significant in that sense. Kiev will continue to watch off toward Boiler. He's got an AWP in hand. It's going to be a Molotov toward top middle. Keith backs off as well after getting the shot on Pasha. It's going to give them a harder time, Virtus.Pro, of getting any control of Arch side. Not only that, they lose the bottom of Banana. Gottby, good trade on Snacks. Thought he snuck into the site. Not so clever. I think a lot of players think if they can make their way inside of the site fast enough, they bypass the person playing the half wall. Good job, Kiev and Tapson. And because they bypass the player playing the half wall, they can get that kill and stay alive in the site, but playing the wider angle actually shuts it down.
14-12. Big now in touching distance of taking this first map in the best of 3. Difficult time, I should say, for Virtus.Pro. They have 4 players and $2,000. Taz somehow has 7 grand. So it's a Virtus.Pro tactical pause, of course. Taz, I guess they forced into this and denied the match point. He can drop 2 AKs, maybe 3 Galils if he wants to go down that path. And they get a reasonable buy out of that, 7K. It's much easier to buy on the T side than it is the CT side. Everything's much cheaper. The AK is only $2,700 compared to the M4 with $3,100. And the grenades are cheaper as well. The Molotov's only $400 compared to $650, I think it is, on the CT side. Might be $750. $650, I'm pretty sure.
You gonna be all right?
It's annoying me, I can't remember that. I don't play enough CS these days to actually remember, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. I think it's 650, to be fair.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, it's good for me to be playing CS consistently.
I was going to call you out, and then I was like, actually, I don't want to say something wrong.
Like, that's like
it's little details like that I don't think about anymore.
It helps me get my mind in like
analytical sort of. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it helps me like kind of read the game better when I'm playing a lot more actively, and I'm actually kind of massages that kind of part of my brain, like tactical reading things. I just don't get to
I think it is 650. But anyway, did you see the statistic posted yesterday in Reddit that said 30% of the active viewership in Counter-Strike are from players from people who don't actually play?
So actual spectators, just fans watching CS.
Either people who stopped playing, a year ago and still follow the scene.
That's pretty cool.
Or come over from other games and just kept watching, or maybe they don't even play games; they just got hooked on it.
How do they work that out?
There's a survey.
Okay, fair enough.
Random sampling. I would probably be considered in one of those 30%.
Yeah,
I very rarely play.
At this point.
Yeah, I just don't have time, and the time that I do have, I don't want to do more Counter-Strike with.
I'm averaging about 2 games a month right now, which is a shame. When I get some time off, I'm going to go...
Sounds like my sex life.
I'm going to try and get... My aim is to get good at CS again before the end of the year. I want to spend like a month, maybe in August, to play a break to get that done. But anyway, Taz, he buys up. They don't go for the idea I suggested of dropping a lot of weapons and trying to go all in. They're allowing, or not maybe allowing, but risking the chance of Big getting to match or map point here. Taz with the AK and some PT-50s around him. Certainly enough to win a round with the likes of Virtus.Pro firepower. Double ops them to handle first. There we go then.
Nagia backs off ever so slightly. Flash goes in. Yeah, he's going to dodge that first one. Second one, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to buy time for Big is all they're after. All 5 players are in Banana. 3 of them top, 2 of them around the corner. Missed shot, Lagia. Closer the pistols get, the more threatening they become. More so, as Tabson's inside the site, already weakened. Luckily, Lagia does finally hit a shot on Snacks after Tabson found the first, and the rotations will commence toward the B site. Lagia hits the shot on the bomb as well, and that's going to spell the end of the round. Maybe, potentially. Kiev struggling, but nails it.
But it's fine. 3 kills for Lagia. That's the event where we saw NRG at that creation of, I can't remember, Counter Pit. He was actually the main AWP for them at that time. I was surprised how good he was at AWPing. I didn't even consider him to be an AWP player. He seems to be the secondary AWP for Big and actually doing a reasonable job.
Someone just said it would be hilarious if VB doesn't qualify for the major. Well, they already are.
Yeah, I think maybe it means Dallas. Oh no, they always can't do that either. Maybe it means Pro League in general. I don't know.
Maybe it means the playoffs of the major. Yeah. That could apply. Tabson. First spray's fine. Neo kills 1G. Neo. That is a 1G. That is indeed a 1G. It's Lagia that's going to back off.
Nifty little flash. Like that. Oh, they have to control the B side now. Bomb will be planted. This is where the double AWP situation becomes a bit of a problem, retaking this site. I suggest VP win this round at this point. We'll see where that comes in. Number 13, match point, and 4-on-3 situation.
3 indeed. But Virtus.Pro with the bomb planted, you might as well call it level B site hard retake. Lagia locked off. Utility's decent, but they are left with just 1 Molotov. 1 Molotov to put on the bomb from Snacks. They need to get him down before that's possible. But he's the one that's playing out toward the Banana, and here it comes. It's thrown in, it's on top of it, it's extinguished by a smoke, and they're on top of the defuse. 1 second to go, they're gonna make sure they get it just barely. And Big will take map 1, only just Virtus.Pro have to claw back in a best of 3. Being down 1-0. That's as close as you'd like to see the game end.
Great game with CS overall, Matt, I have to say. It was quite entertaining. Lots of blunders, lots of exciting moments. I would say Big looking amazing at the start, but then the key mistakes they made, I thought they were out of it. Virtus.Pro coming very close to winning it, but that eco victory for Big pretty much salvaged what was ruined. And I guess we'll throw it back to the studio. That's been Sadicus and the Wolf. Over to you, Jason.
And the Wolf, yes. Humongous win for Big Clan. And Henry there, or the Wolf. We can't let that become a thing. If you can think of a different animal that Henry fits, please tweet it at me with the hashtag ESL Pro League. And ooh, the parasite comes through. That's from Sadicus himself. Yeah, so Henry mentioned a couple of the blunders that Big makes down the stretch, but I mean, you have to point at the Tabson round with the pistol as a huge blunder from Virtus.Pro right when they're making their comeback.
Did we get to see that replay ever?
No, we didn't.
We did not.
we don't have those resources available to us right now, Lauren, but in the future, that
P250.
technology will be with us.
Thank you, Chad.
It will exist.
This is the Badger reporting in from the analysis desk right now.
You're a beaver, Chad.
Yeah, it looked like when Bialy won that 1v3 situation, the momentum had swung in the way of Virtus.Pro. But as you mentioned, the Tabson P250 round in Banana was a big pivoting point for Big. It was a huge round, massive, some might say.
Yes, and it definitely changed the server conditions. Over to you, Lauren.
Yeah, it did. I just don't know what to say anymore. No, going back to the start of the game, though, like, at the very beginning, Big's initial performance on that T side was really, really fun to watch. Like, for me, it was quite nice to see that. Like, the fakes coming out, the double fake that kind of broke the back, that kind of, like, you know, lean towards B, the over rotates that came in. You know, Virtus.Pro stacked almost, what was it, 4 players there and left Neo on his own.
Over, yeah.
It was a colossal mistake, but I absolutely loved how Big kind of played that one through. Like, it was that was the classic God B style that I really enjoyed to watch. But VP did finally wake up. But at the end of that first half, it was Pasha who pretty much turned it around. We were discussing his AWPing initially and what, you know, sort of impact he can carry. And it wasn't flashy AWPing particularly, but he was the backbone of actually holding that half together.
Yeah, the issue for me was the way that VP addressed that CT side with no aggression. They're just letting Big execute on them over and over again. And once you do that, you allow for fakes. We eventually, like Lauren was touching on, Pasha with the AWP, when you push down mid, killed Legia in the second mid, or alt mid, whatever you want to call it, grab that frag, that ruins any execution possibilities, right? And from there, VP were able to get a couple of rounds together and get an okay half, all things considered. When a team is only doing executes against you, which is exactly what Big was doing, they weren't playing off of instinct or anything. They were getting map control, then they were deciding what execute they wanted to do, and then they were able to fake off it or do all that kind of different stuff. You want to go for that aggression. You want to damage them up. You want to force them to use utility. You maybe want to do an aggressive move, like take Banana really early and hold it for the whole round. That means they have to go A, right? If you're going to make them run down the clock into the last 20, 30 seconds, it means that the most likely bomb side of attack will be that A1.
Well, you had a theory when we were watching it because we were speculating why isn't there more aggression coming out of VP, and you mentioned it might be because of the utility, to like the fact that VP never had the nades to do anything. They never stabilized the economy. Is that kind of the scene of their entire CT half? Is just like it felt like they could never. They got reset a couple times in there as well.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, to be fair. A bit of a shame. Maybe they could have been more seen if they'd had that, but if you don't get the start, you don't get the kind of the later half to it all.
Are we surprised by this? I mean, it is Inferno. I mean, was this a product of Gobby's kind of countering, as you kind of mentioned? Like, I know you talked a lot about how he was going to be in a server. He is that kind of in-game leader who does get a little bit nerdy in terms of poring over demos and finding the anti-strats and everything like that.
Sweaty.
Yes, you did use the word sweaty instead of nerdy.
I don't think it's like counterplaying at all. I think that Big just stick to their plan, right? I think that they came into the server with what they like to do, and I think it worked well. I think it's a map that they clearly have put time into, and I think you saw the fruit of their labor on the T side. I think the CT side, it did eventually kind of run out of steam, and you almost saw that kind of turnaround. The firepower coming back in from Virtus.Pro was there. It started to actually turn up a bit, but the individuals, you know, eventually kind of faded away. It happens, right? But I think it's just... I don't think it's what we expected. I think we kind of theorized it's a possibility, right? If everything goes right for Big and a couple of factors go wrong for Virtus.Pro, which is actually quite likely, you can see this happening. I think Big played their game early. They got confident early. I think you've seen the players kind of respond to that as well. If it started differently, I don't know if we'd seen the same result. Even if, you know, you'd seen some of the similar rounds play out they did, the way they did, I don't think we'd have seen the same performance from people like Tabson playing well and a couple of others having, you know, a decent performance here or there.
You also mentioned, Chad, VP brought in... What is this? You mentioned as well, VP brought in a really cool strategy over at Pit that they used to do a lot, and you really, really liked it.
They did it in a 5-on-3 situation, which was very interesting. The 3 remaining players were able to do the smokes, and all of them went through apartment. So they did their smokes from alt middle, made a wall across Pit and the balcony, so you're able to use your smokes, dive through the balcony smoke into the Pit smokes.
Right.
And Lauren is being very annoying on a chair right now. And then you're able to get Pit control.
Squeaky.
You kill the Pit player, and then once you have Pit, you can kind of wait for the smokes to dissipate if you have enough time, and take Jules towards site, mini Pit, quad, etc., and then take the site a little bit after that. But just to point out, VP lost both pistols,
God bless,
which is heartbreaking. And one thing I want to say positively about Big, because I didn't really do a lot in the pregame, was they had this round on the B site where they were playing relatively passive on the sides too. They weren't really playing for information. They were letting VP take control of Banana. And then they knew, I think it was kind of 50 seconds, that an execute was likely on either of the sides. The B players, which was Tabson and Legia, they boosted at the triple box, new box, whatever you want to call it. And that was really good because if a Molotov comes in, Legia's not... Tabson was boosted, wasn't going to burn, right? It was a great adjustment, and then Legia was playing in a position where he's baiting for Tabson, and if he couldn't get Molotov where he's standing or really badly flashed. The problem was, as soon as the execute came in, Tabson pulled out a flash, and like then flushed the ground, but his legs were still visible and he died to snacks. And I was like, well, everything was perfect. And then you just pulled out and you nailed it at the wrong time.
You really do hate to see that. Really quick before we go to break, one-word answers. Are we seeing a third map?
No.
Yes.
Cool. Well, we're going to head to a quick break. When we return, we will be seeing, I believe it's Cobble, is going to be the next map in the series. We'll see. Virtus.Pro is one map away from not making it back at ESL Pro League, so stay tuned. We'll see you soon.